real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Donna Johnson believed one man was her father until the age of 14, when her mother told her another man was her father. Donna is desperate to find out the truth, so she petitioned the court for a DNA test to see if she and the defendant share the same father. Defendant Bayete Washington says he first met Donna when he was 4 or 5, and over the years they kept in touch and built a relationship. But he's excited to find out the test results today.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
We are here today to disclose whether you all are siblings or not based on the DNA test you have taken here with the show.
Yes.
All right. Tell me about the sibling association and background that you all have.
Well, I'll start out by saying that Beata could be my brother through Mr. Tom. I met him when I was 14 years old. He had came to our home in Ohio, and my mother said to me, "Would you like this man to be your father?" And I was like, "No, Mom, I have a dad." Being 14, I was very confused that she pulled me aside when this man came in his luxury Rolls Royce from Miami. He was a well sought after man in the community.
You didn't choose him?
Well, you know.
That's my daddy. You're right, Mama.
Right. You know, after the Rolls Royce, the big money and all that, I was so in love with my family.
There you go.
We were very, they worked for GM. You know, they always, in Ohio, they made cars for GM, for the Detroit, you know, where you're from. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, they were just hard workers, and we had lights off at sometimes and water off at some time, because even though my dad got a check that I thought was my natural dad, until I met this man 14 years later. He was a good gambler, but when he won big, and when he didn't, hey,
lost the
we just
family
had to eat
check.
biscuits. But he was a great father.
What did Papa Rolls Royce do?
Papa Rolls Royce, listen, Beata, let Beata tell that if you don't mind.
Let me hear from you.
Okay, well, I met Donna when I was, about 4 or 5 years old. I was in Miami, my mother, and she showed up with my niece, and Dad was like, "This is your sister, and you're an uncle." So I'm like, "I'm an uncle. I'm 5 years old. How am I an uncle?" No, he was a young man back then. So
okay,
but.
And you grew up with Rolls Royce Pop?
I did, just not old enough to drive it.
What was he, school teacher, police officer, practiced medicine, had a very successful business?
He owned a chain of dry cleaners, and he...
there you go.
He was an activist in the community, had a radio talk show, very well known.
All right, you don't want to share his name? If he was an activist that contributed to the community, say it, man. He provided jobs. He was an activist. He had a radio show providing information. What's his name?
Tom Washington Sr. And on the dry cleaners, it said, "Tom Washington Sr., say it loud."
All right. I love it. Let's give him a hand.
Yes. And then, Judge Mathis, if I also can imply that great movement upon my father, if he's my father, he also served in the military. He was a strong man. He went forth for our country. He came out, opened business. He was just a man of principles and values, and he wanted all of us to go to college. So the only thing about my life, when I turned 20, he told my mom, "If you don't send our daughter to college, I'm gonna let her know I'm her father." So 20 years old, I didn't go to college. He came to Dayton, pulled me out of Dayton and sent me to a Miami University in Miami. So I don't know how he had that kind of pull, because I didn't have a GED. You know, we was on the lazy side of course in Ohio.
Stop.
I had a baby, and I had stopped going to school. I had one credit to go, but my dad got me straight in college, you know, and I was so thankful for my father loving me in that way. But all his children he loved. They all went to private schools. So he was a man of
You didn't mess
principles
his
and-
money up, did you? Did you finish?
You know, listen, I ran into Aaron Pryor, and I became his woman, and we traveled all over the
The
world.
boxer
He did
Aaron
a-
Pryor? The boxer Aaron Pryor?
He had just moved to Miami.
Didn't Aaron Pryor end up on crack?
He did end up
Well,
on
then
crack,
you
but
ain't
not
go.
before me.
Come
Not
on.
before-
You're
not
going to
before
drop out
me.
of college. Aaron Pryor was one of my favorite boxers of the time, but let's say it like it is. You dropped out of college to be with a crackhead. Come on, let me
But
move
not-
back
you
over
wasn't
here.
on crack at
Now,
that
you done
time,
wasted your
Judge.
daddy's money. There are stereotypes in our community. I'm trying to eliminate that. So that's why you heard me suggest every career other than something illegal. You can't tell most folks that a man driving a Rolls Royce wasn't
Right.
doing something illegal. I know many businessmen who have very high-end cars. You see a black man in a Lamborghini with a cap on and a sweatsuit. That's how I dress a lot.
I see you
I
on
look-
TV at the shows, at the comedy shows. You dress.
I'm
You
fly.
are-
That's
man,
why I'm
you
Detroit.
fly. You fly.
I'm Detroit.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
look at
fly.
me all like
You
that.
are- Listen.
That's why I was doing that. That's why, and I wanted you to give him credit for being a great role model. We want to know how a lot of these folks, these kids want to be athletes and entertainers to get a Rolls Royce and girls and big
Wow.
houses. And then when they don't make the pros and they don't make the big hit that gets them monies rich from entertainment. You didn't prepare for a real career to get you a Rolls Royce by developing some cleaners. Instead, you mess yourself up, and then you go back to the hood and sell the hood dope because you're smart enough on how to get the plug so that you can get the kilos, and then you give it to the 15 and 17-year-olds to be on the corner selling the packs.
Judge Mathis, you are truly right about that. Not only did our father do the things that Beata had said with the cleaners, with the talk show, with the radio, after Kennedy died, he was an activist for this community. He also had started a liquor company that Black people had started doing to put out, and he ran for commissioner and mayor. He was very active in the community.
Good. I'll give him another hand. That's
I'm really
what we
proud of
need our business people to do. All right, and you want to tell me about the relationship you all have had?
Well, she took me everywhere, all over Miami, a lot of places that weren't really advertised. Dad actually had 3 Rolls Royces that I know of at the same time.
Yes.
That's right.
He might have
And
something with-
had money to send his kids to college. That's the biggie.
He definitely did that.
Go ahead.
He had a dock where boats can come in and handle their paperwork. A live arts theater where he met a lot of celebrities,
Okay.
in the community. So later on, as I got older, of course, Facebook was able to keep everybody connected pretty good. And then Donna came out to visit me and my son, and we hung out, stayed in contact always. So she's a very positive person, very uplifting, motivational.
And Beata also came to Ohio to visit me with his son and family. We both share that love interest of, if we are siblings, we would like to do the best we can to stay connected. Everybody went their own way. We understood that after our father died. But at the same time, if he's my father, it would be such a blessing because of Beata.
What brought it into question at this late stage?
Well, at 14, when my mother said, never asked that I spoke of this other man being your dad. At the late stage, me and Beata, we always talked about it. Even my father said he would give Tom K. Washington, if he be my father, he will give me a DNA test. But at the same time, he always called it, I would give you my blood. And my daughter, he wanted her to, because she was a college girl, came out of Ohio State. He kept up with her so good he loved anybody that did education, that displayed the stage. She does not know who her real grandfather is. He's always stated he was. My mother say no. He said yes. He's such a strong energy. I don't see how he can dilate against what he felt was his.
What you drinking? Vodka?
Either way,
You drinking vodka?
no, it's some water. I'm in town with some friends of mine for a cigar festival in Houston.
Well, then, yeah, it was definitely vodka.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Will be later. Either way it go, this is my sister.
Judge Mathis.
I'm not worried.
Mr. Mathis, we share the same birthday. My birthday's April 5th.
All right. Well, we're going to...
You know that's a good thing.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's good luck, too, because you all are siblings. How about that? Woo! Yeah. All right. You're all a sibling.
You're my brother.
Yeah, it was never a question. Love y'all. Take care.
I love you, Judge Mathis. Thank you. Oh my God. We're siblings, Mayana. I love you.
Yeah.
You've been there. You never turned your back on me. You always supported me. I love you. Thank you for doing this test. I would have never known who my natural dad was. Thank you, Mayana. I'm changing my name to Washington today.
I didn't doubt it. You know what I mean?
I am changing my name to Washington today. I love you, Mayana. Tell your mother I love her for doing the test.
I will. I didn't doubt it. I mean, we look alike.
Plaintiff Shauna Albert is a single mom of 4, and the defendant is her youngest son. Shauna claims the defendant abused marijuana and synthetic marijuana as a teen, which led to angry outbursts. And she's suing him today for rent, utilities, and damaged property. Defendant Dylan Albert says growing up, Shauna had a lot of boyfriends in and out of their home, and he often felt like she prioritized them over her children. Dylan insists his mother is suing him for more than he owes.
Start with you.
A little backstory. I was a single mother of 4 children. Dylan is my youngest. I wanted to keep them out of housing and things, so I worked 2 jobs most of the time, which gave them a little free time, too much free time sometimes. Dylan got into smoking marijuana. Rumor had it there was some 15, 16. There was some rumor at some time there was some synthetic marijuana, which caused him anger outbursts, very upset a lot of the time, arguing if he was out of marijuana or if he was out of the synthetic. He'd come very irritable, angered easily.
So you think he used marijuana excessively? Okay. Because what you describe
Possibly.
is, what you describe are symptoms of someone addicted.
Correct.
To marijuana. People can become addicted to marijuana like they become addicted to alcohol, like they become addicted to other drugs. And this was during his early teens or mid-teens, and what type of behavior was he exhibiting other than that? Was he troubled? Did he stay in school?
He did not stay in school. He did, however, wound up later receiving a high school diploma. His father was not in his life as well, so that was rough as well. And having a single mother with 4 kids, there was many times we did without, utilities. I did the best I could, but I wasn't there like I should have been.
Yeah. And doesn't sound like you got a lot of support from the father.
No, not at all. He's himself is an addict, in and out of prison, jail, so.
Single parenting almost by nature, if you have more than a few kids and you're not a professional and a high earner, almost equals poverty. So it's up to struggling moms like you to take on 2 jobs as you have over the years, as my mother did. My mother had 4 children, 4 boys.
Oh, goodness.
In an impoverished community and worked 2 jobs. And supervision was a little light. And so we did a lot that when she wasn't around. But she gave us the good basics to fall back on. So I'm sure with your other 3 children, you don't have to sue them for rent and utilities, and they all right?
They
the
are.
other 3 children? Good.
Yes, yeah.
That means you did a good job.
Thank you.
They're all functional. They're all functional and productive citizens. Young man, you give me some background on you.
Well, so like my mother said, she was a single parent. She did have boyfriends kind of in or out. Sometimes I felt like they were kind of her priority, and I felt unheard being the youngest. So we didn't get along great as I got older and got into my teenage years. When I was 14, I had decided to move in with my grandmother. But my grandma does spoil me, and I did get away with a lot being there.
And I've seen that 1,000 times. Now, I let that happen right now when my grandbaby's only 4. But when she comes over at 12 or 10 even, it's going to be what Mama said happens over here, not what Granddad wants to do and have fun and play. No, it's exactly what Mama said. And you can't come over here to escape to an easier life. The life here is going to be just as it was at home. So I'm glad that you brought that up, that your grandma spoiled you, and here you dropped out of high school when? What year? How old were you? What grade?
It was my junior year.
When did you get your GED, and what have you been doing since then?
I got my GED in, I want to say 2019. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've pretty much just bounced around from job to job here and there.
What type of jobs?
A couple factory jobs, a couple kitchens.
What happened to the factory jobs? Those are usually good paying jobs.
Well, my girlfriend is pregnant now, mm-hmm. and so I've had to try and make time schedules work out, and sometimes to get her back and forth from doctor's appointments because I drive.
So you quit your factory job?
Somewhat, yes. Okay. There were other things as well. One of them was I was told to do one thing, but I was doing multiple jobs at once, and I felt like
too much work on that one. What's the last factory job?
They
what
didn't
happened
pay
to
enough.
That one?
Boy, got a big ego.
They didn't pay enough.
All right.
This guy's
Now you might be on that, may be something, because I don't advocate people working for non-competitive wages. You got to give you your price, ain't you ain't going to work. All right. So tell me how your son owes for rent and utilities and damaged property.
Well, in November of 2020, we were living in a home that burnt down, and his girlfriend had came to stay with us the day before it burnt down. So they literally had been at our house one day. The next day, the house burnt.
Your house?
Yes, correct. So Red Cross did help out. We did find a house to move into November 1st of 2020. Talked to Dylan and his girlfriend. We agreed that he would pay half of the utilities and the rent so that we could get on our feet again and they could get on their feet. We're going to help each other out. Within 2 to 3 months of being in the house, it was a little embarrassing. The cops were there 2 or 3 times because of arguments between Dylan and his girlfriend. And the anger issues would lead to broken windows, doors.
You a weed head?
I smoke weed, yes.
All day?
Not all day, but
How
often.
many joints a day?
I don't know, roughly 5 to 6.
That's a weed head. 5 or 6 joints a day is too much weed, sir. You suffer from weed addiction, it sounds like to me. And you need to read up on how to overcome that. Perhaps some type of outpatient therapy. All right, and what was the total amount per month?
So the rent was $900 a month. Mm-hmm. So that would have been $450 for half the rent. And the utilities, it's $495 for the 3 months.
Okay.
That he was at the house. My father loaned me the money to be able to get the home in November, so we agreed that it would not start until December 1st for him.
Okay, December 1st. Mm-hmm.
And that would give him time to find a job and be able to help pay his half.
So he didn't have a job at that point?
He did find a job for a short period of time. He just didn't keep the job.
Didn't wake up.
Yeah.
That's the other part of smoke too much weed. It's hard to wake up in the morning, sir.
Yes, he's not a morning person. Right. Neither am I, though.
All right. And with regard to the payments that he made, which months did he pay?
I mean, literally, he gave me about $125 the whole time he was there, which he eats a lot because, you know, he has the munchies. So that $125 was gone in one grocery trip.
Okay, and the total you received so far was $125.
Correct.
So, what do you want to tell me about this, sir? Rent and utilities.
I never recall. There was never any paper stating that I had to pay half the rent. I never signed anything with her. We never wrote anything down. It was just a verbal agreement. And what I recall was that we had said I would give her what I could. I had never agreed to pay half of the rent.
So you and your pregnant woman, the only amount of money you've had to pay for you all's living arrangements is $125?
No,
What
sir.
would happen if your mom wasn't here? How would you take care of your pregnant woman and yourself?
Grandma.
Hold on.
Sorry.
What would you live off of then?
Well, I have places I could go, people I could see.
Who? You would be living off somebody else?
Well, I didn't say that, but there are places I could stay and jobs I
Then
could
say
get.
what you mean. Say how you would pay to live. Or would you bum off everybody?
Well, I wouldn't bum
Well, how would
anything.
you pay? It's either pay or bum. It's no in
I would-
between.
I would get a
Either
job,
you're paying
sir.
your way or you're bumming your way.
I would get a job, sir, and pay rent.
So why haven't you done it with your mom?
I tried getting jobs. I tried
Okay,
working.
so then so how would you get a job with these other people that you would go to if you haven't been able to get one in nearly a year with your mom?
Well, the jobs I did have were just handyman
All right,
work.
fine. What about now? You're bumming off of your mother.
I have applied
and you
for
say
5
you're gonna
jobs
go to
in the
other
past 6
people
months,
and
sir.
bum.
I've applied for 5
I
jobs in the
understand.
past
That's a
6
shame.
months.
I'm just asking you. You did work at some point between November and now, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So why didn't you pay her when you were working?
Because I have to eat.
And you didn't pay that bill, she said. What would you do if she wasn't around?
I don't know, sir. to be
Yeah,
honest
you
with
would bum off somebody else. You already said what you would do. I got other people I can live off of. Yeah, I'll bum off this person or that person. Work? What do you mean work? What is your property damage for?
If you look at page 1, there's a bedroom window that was in him and his girlfriend's bedroom that was busted out. Page 2.
What happened?
Just when the anger outburst would happen and they would argue, he would, which can say rather than put his hands on her, he would break things when he was irritable and angry.
Sir, what do you say to the damages your mom is alleging you?
Well, I agreed to pay for one door because there was a day that I came home and the door was locked and I couldn't get in.
You kicked it in?
So I kicked it in. Other than that, I don't think I owe anything.
You didn't damage anything else?
I don't recall damaging anything else.
Okay. Do you recall, ma'am?
The bedroom door was broken into 3 pieces.
Okay.
So the bedroom no longer has a door. 2 windows were broken in the bedroom.
Okay.
The front door and the side door, screen doors and door frames. There are pictures of those in there as well, are all damaged. They all have to be replaced. And we do rent, so.
You're very clear and you remember everything, and you're a self-admitted weed head, and the number one symptom of long-term or excessive weed use is a bad memory. So I'm going to rely on the non-weed head today, and I want to grant her judgment. And that's $3,578. It's time you become a man and take care of yourself and your baby and stop all this quitting jobs because this, that, and the other. Have a good day. Judgment for mama.
Thank you. Dylan, I know you're working on your anger, and I love you. And I
love you
just
too.
wanted responsibility. I love you.
I love you. I want to settle our differences and try and work on our relationship, make
Me
it better.
too. Me too.
Came out today to form stereotypes, and they say, well, whatever else you might have said.
It's time to rewind and check out this week's Judge Mathis throwback.
Plaintiff Jewel Reed says she dated the defendant against her better judgment, and they broke up after she discovered he was also dating her next-door neighbor. Jewel's suing because she rented a U-Haul for the defendant, and he failed to return it. Defendant James Spearman insists he never dated Jewel, and he claims on the day they met, she not only screamed at him, but then she started following him in her car. James is countersuing for harassment because he claims Jewel came to his job and tried to cause him bodily harm.
Start with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm here today because I'm suing the defendant. I met him when I was out and about taking my car to get an oil change.
When was that?
That was April 3rd of this year.
Okay.
Okay, he asked to take me to dinner. I said no, and I proceeded to walk in to get my oil change. The young lady that was in there saw everything that happened and told me that I was very mean. I didn't want to come off that way, so I turned around and James was still in the parking lot. I decided to turn back around even though I know it was against my better judgment. We exchanged numbers and we began dating after that.
Because the clerk told you to.
Well, you know what, Your Honor? No, it was just that she told me that I was very mean the way I came off to him. And just
so
by
why
saying
couldn't you
no and
just
keep going.
apologize to him? I'm sorry I was mean to you.
You know
but
what, Your Honor?
no,
That's what
thank you. I still don't want dinner.
Yeah,
that's what I should have done.
You wanted dinner in the first place.
We never dated. We never dated at all.
Never dated at all?
No.
Where do you know her from?
At the location that she was speaking of.
Will you give me your story as to how you all met?
Exactly what happened was, I was getting gas. She was going to this place that I have a picture of. And
What place?
It's a place you get oil change, gas,
all right,
stuff
just
like
like
that.
she said, at the oil change place.
Yes, she was walking inside the place. She looked at me and said, just like this, 1 minute. Went inside and can't give me a number. I knew that was strange, but you know, I still said, okay, well, she was attractive, so let me see where it goes. I called, I said, listen, you wanna meet me someplace for where as though we can, you know, have a drink, get to know each other, blah, blah, blah. She said, sure. She shows up at the place, and then we drinking. I go to have a conversation with a person I know. She comes out of nowhere and, don't be disrespecting me. Don't be who you think you is. Don't disrespecting me, yo. In my ear, like she close like this. So the lady I'm with, like, y'all think you better get away from this crazy lady.
And this is the first time you dated her?
The first date.
Did you remember telling me you never dated her?
No. I consider. I wouldn't call it a date.
You starting out wrong.
I didn't call it a date.
Go ahead, ma'am. Complete your testimony.
Things went bad because I found out that he was also dating my next door neighbor. I mean, right next door. I'm at 9, she's at 7.
How'd you find that out?
He told me he got caught leaving out of my house one morning. The neighbor saw him leaving my house. He said, don't worry about it. I'll see you later. We'll talk about it, and I'll bring you your registration because I left my registration as collateral for the truck. He said, we'll talk about it later. I said, no, I don't want to have anything else to do with you. This is my next door neighbor. I can't be going back and forth with her with a man. And I'm a single parent. I live with a son. I have an 8-year-old.
You sure? Were you dating a woman?
No.
Next door neighbor?
That's the one I knew prior before I knew her.
You weren't dating her?
We're dating now. She actually my girlfriend right now.
He moved in, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you.
So that night when we met to have a drink, when she acted crazy and deranged and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I proceeded with my cousin. We proceeded to get in the car because I said, oh, I've been in this situation before. Let me get away from this situation. I get in my car. She's following me, behind me. You know good don't even know me. My first time ever
That's a lie, Your Honor.
You ain't this, you ain't that, cursing me. I'm not gonna curse. So we get in the car.
You already have. What's wrong with you today?
I'm trying to express, I'm trying to express how.
Go ahead.
So we get in the car, go about my business, leave. She's calling me. Please. I said, okay. So a couple days later, which was my mistake, a couple days later, I get drunk.
You get drunk?
I got drunk. So I said, listen, let me, I'm in your neighborhood. Can I come see your couch? I can't drive while I'm this drunk. And she was happy in that.
To the crazy
yes, what?
person.
Yes, you want something to eat? I said, no, just
spin them out, tap the car.
I'm with her. Why do you do that with a crazy person? You didn't have any other couches to sleep on?
No,
What about the next door neighbor?
I made a bad judgment.
Go ahead. What else you want?
So I still, you know, I did it anyway. Leaves in the morning, I comes out, I see the person, my girlfriend now, coming out at the same time. I said, oh, I know you live here, whatever. So we talking, saying that. I called her out of respect to say, listen, the girl that's next door to you, I knew her prior before I knew you. And I was tracked to her, I lost contact with her. I said, I'm trying to rekindle something with her. So, just like I said, she goes on the phone. What? I'm gonna stalk you. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna do nothing.
Is that all she said she was gonna do is stalk you? You got off light.
Yeah.
That move wasn't very bright. You get drunk, you want to go and sleep on her couch.
Yeah.
And then you have nerve enough to call her and volunteer to her, I spent the night at your house, but I'm dating your next door neighbor. What did you think she was gonna do, bring you cookies? Man, what contract are you talking about? What's happening?
It was for a U-Haul rental. It was on April 30th. He called me at work. He knew I got off at 12:30. He asked me to help him rent a U-Haul truck. He was going to place a $100 deposit, and I was going to put the registration to my car. So I took my registration there.
Now, what was the agreement on who would pay for the actual U-Haul expenses?
He would. He put the $100 down. The U-Haul truck was only a $20 a day rental. He was only supposed to keep the truck for 1 day.
True,
and that was and that's in the paperwork.
Okay.
From the 30th to the 1st.
What do you say the agreement was?
Yeah. Can I just tell you, can I tell you why we're really here?
He asked you a question.
Go ahead.
We're really...
Sorry.
You're doing all this tough stuff in here.
No, because she's made up the day,
yeah,
so she's
she goes off, so you better leave her alone.
Okay, I'm gonna leave her alone. I'm gonna leave her alone.
Come on.
But, Your Honor, we are here because she wanted to be with me, she wanted to stalk me, but I didn't want to be with her.
All right, very good. Now, let's talk about the agreement on this U-Haul truck she's suing you about.
The agreement was, when I seen she had the U-Haul truck sitting, so I said, well, you got the U-Haul truck sitting. You know, I'm a contractor. So I said, let me use it to move some material from one property to another property. She said, sure. I said, okay, here's $100. For the U-Haul, I'm going to use it. It's only $29 per day. I'm going to use it for a couple of days. That's fine. She said, yeah. Everything was fine. When she came to my job site, we didn't know how she found out where my job site was at. She comes to my job site, me and my girlfriend in the car. She comes from running around the corner. I caught you. I knew it. I caught you. Blah, 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 going on for no reason.
Sir, you said you'd keep it a couple of days. You told me you rented it specifically for him.
Because he asked me to, yes.
Right. What ultimately happened to cause you to sue him for $2,446?
So I started to text message him, listen, you need to take that U-Haul back. I started to go up to U-Haul and let them know, look, listen, the truck is not in my possession.
How many days after renting it?
It was on the 5th. I rented the truck on the...
6 days later, he still hadn't returned the truck.
Yes, and I had been asking him to.
How did you ultimately get the truck back?
With the help of the police, the second time I went to his job, he tried to take off in the truck. The police saw everything. The police saw everything. He was sitting out there with the truck. I don't know why the police let him leave with that truck, because my name was on the paperwork.
How many days did he ultimately keep it? What
11 days.
ultimately
He
happened?
kept it for 11 days.
All right. What expenses were there? You have a list?
Yes, I do.
All right. Sir, how many days did you keep it?
4 days.
You kept it 4 days?
Yes, I did.
All right, go ahead.
On the 4th day I had the truck, when she came to my job site and was trying to run us over, the police saw her acting wild.
Yeah. Why didn't you return it when you told her you would?
That was the 4th day, Your Honor.
I know. You said couple days, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just saying that was the
4 is twice as much as 2. Do you know that?
Yes. Because on the second day...
Be quiet. Nobody listening to me, you know more. What are these pictures for?
That is the garbage that was in the building that he was contracting, and he took it and dumped all of the garbage.
This is inside the U-Haul.
Inside the U-Haul truck, and notice the right mirror, he kicked it off. He didn't hit it off. The whole thing is just the mirror off. He kicked it.
Sir, what is your counterclaim for?
I'm kind of suing her for harassment.
Tell me how she harassed you, sir.
She harassed me about the things I told you about. She came to my job site.
Okay. And what did she do when she came there?
She tried to do bodily harm to me, but she couldn't get to me. She approached my girlfriend car first.
Asking for the U-Haul, right?
No.
Yes.
What
She
did
never
she
mentioned
want?
U-Haul. Not
What
one
did she
time. That's what I'm
come
trying to
for?
explain to
What do
you,
you
Your Honor.
believe she came for?
Because me and the girl was together. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You don't think she was interested in the U-Haul?
No, not one time. If you see the text messages I give you, she's not one time mentioned that U-Haul.
Let's see your text message. I'm looking at something there where she was charged $2,416.71 from U-Haul. Who do you think should pay for it?
I think I should pay for my portion of the 4 days.
What is her portion?
Her portion is keeping all them other days she had it.
Oh, you returned it to her?
I returned it. The police told me to turn it to her. She said she didn't want the U-Haul. So they told me immediately.
Ma'am, did you
return it.
tell them you didn't want it? All right, so why didn't you take it to the U-Haul
I
place?
did.
That means you had it in your total possession for the entire time. That certainly means any charges or expenses or damages that occurred, you would be liable for. She never touched it after giving it to you. That's why you have to pay for everything that was wrong with that U-Haul, and your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
Leave me alone. Stop harassing me, man. Stop harassing me. Man, stop harassing me. Why you want to beat my girlfriend up? It was just yesterday you snatched my girlfriend's phone out of her hand. Why you approach her? If it's about the U-Haul, why yesterday, when we're not together no more at night, I ain't see you, why did you approach my girlfriend and snatch it out of her hand? And snatch the phone out of her hand? Because you're crazy, you're deranged. You need help. You need help. You told me you was 32. You're like you're 40-something. Look at you. You're a crackhead. You're a former crackhead. That's it.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
We recently spoke with defendant James Spearman, who admitted to us that he and the plaintiff, Jewel Reed, were in fact dating. And shortly after their case, James discovered that he had impregnated the woman whom he had cheated on Jewel with. James is now married to another woman, and he has not heard from Jewel since their case. We tried reaching Jewel, but were unable to get a hold of her. So Jewel, if you're watching, please give us a call.